I saw Marty Supreme. Okay, so this is a film that you might have seen. It came out. As I like to say, I am a media expert. I see everything. I see absolutely everything. The moment it drops, and I have my whole life. So I made sure to see Marty Supreme. And okay, first off, from a normal person's perspective, great film. Great film from a normal person's perspective. Fun, enjoyable, funny, great music. One of Tricks Point Never, Daniel Lopatin or Lopatin. I don't know how you say his name. I've been a fan of him for a long time. Well, a normal person wouldn't say that, actually. Sorry, a normal person wouldn't say that. But still, from a normal perspective, it was a great film. And I would say, check it out. It's great entertainment, fun for the whole adult family, I guess. So that's from a normal perspective. From a critical perspective, it was quite a bad film. I mean, it was quite a bad film. Um, I'm not always trying to be critical, but I can't really help it when I'm watching art. Um, from the very beginning, it was very a lot going on and fast paced, and I know they're going for that, and they're not ignorant to the fact that they're throwing you into a thing, and you're like, who's this? Who's that? Wait, they're hooking up. They're together, but she's with another guy. But then there's all this other. Oh, spoiler alert! Obviously, skip this section if you don't want to hear about the movie. And there's all these characters, and you're like, okay, it's just one of those films where they throw you into the deep end. That's cool, whatever. Like, okay. So, but then there is that problem of like, okay, well, am I going to care about all these characters? Like, when am I going to care about them? I don't just automatically care about them because they're on the screen. So if you want me to care about them, like I can't care about everyone immediately. So I'm going to need to be kind of eased into it a little bit, but okay. And then, okay, he's obviously a ping pong player. He's going to a ping pong competition, and the whole thing's going to revolve around him going to ping pong competition. I love ping pong, so I was very excited about that. I did start to realize as soon as he's playing ping pong, it's not super dramatic I don't see a lot of sports movies, but there's something not dramatic about it. It's certainly not as fun as like watching a ping pong game where it's not a function of a plot, and you don't just assume one guy's going to win. So you sort of know he's going to win the whole time, even in the initial tournament, and then ultimately in the final thing. So it's very predictable. But also, like, that's okay. And I guess it's based on a true story, which I started realizing partway through in a sort of negative way. I'll explain that maybe if I remember. But so it's based on true story, so I get that they're a little bit locked in there. But okay, main problem was not just that there were too many characters, but that there was too many events going on that were very arbitrary and coincidental. And it had this sort of feel of a Thomas Pynchon novel or something, which might have been intentional, where there's just like a million things going on, and it's like a whirlwind, and you're going from one crazy encounter, which leads you to another crazy encounter, which leads you to another. And that's great. But I definitely started to feel like the encounters were arbitrary. Oh, he's now at a hotel and someone falls through the floor, and now there's an injured person and a dog, and now the dog's their responsibility, and now they go, and it's sort of like, well, that just randomly happened, that someone fell through the floor. I guess it wasn't totally random because they told him don't take a shower, so there was like a little foreshadowing. He shouldn't have taken the shower, and he fell, or the bath or whatever, and then he falls. So but that foreshadowing was only like 5 seconds or 1 minute of. So it sort of just felt random. And then they're going to this guy's house to get the dog back so that they can give the dog to the rich dog owner who would presumably compensate them. And it's like, okay. I mean, I guess that's necessary, right? Because I guess you need that compensation from the rich guy. I guess. Because you just couldn't. Like, you couldn't just work at the shoe store, I guess, right? And I hate to be that guy. It reminds me a lot of Breaking Bad, where it's like, I'm not trying to say people should always make good decisions, and Walter should have taken the money from his former coworker, Elliot or whatever, and because it's not about they should make better decisions. It's just that within the plot, there's a drama element lost when all of what we're seeing is just the way that the protagonist is compensating for not making another decision he could have made. But okay, fine. He doesn't want to work at the shoe store. I can respect that. And it's like he wants to live this free life. Okay, so he has to get the dog back for the owner. It's just that there's all these other small things that are like part of his... Okay, the affair he has with this woman who's married, right? So he has... Both his relationships in the film are with married women, which leads us to the most important point. But also just like this whole side thing with the blonde woman, whatever, she's a famous person. There was all these cameos. I only knew Tyler, the creator. I didn't know all the... But that's kind of lame. A lot of cameos in a way. But it's sort of like, what are you compensating for? But okay, just based on the plot, like, okay, he's hooking up with this rich, famous actress. Super far-fetched. Just the way it's played in the film, that she falls for him, feels very wish fulfillment-y for a man. Super weird and unrealistic that this famous, like, bombshell actor, like, almost twice his age. Okay, she wants to hook up with a younger man, great. But, like, she's a little accessible. She's a little accessible for him. Okay, his confidence is overwhelming. He wooed her, great. It just didn't feel real, her liking of him. And also, like, she vacillates back and forth, and it sort of, like, just feels kind of fake. More importantly, his main love interest, his, like, partner, I guess, is a married woman who is pregnant with his child. She gets pregnant in the opening scene, delivers the baby at the end, or he sees the baby at the end. So the entire movie, beginning to end, is about him having a child. It is what everything is about in the film, in the background, essentially. Or I shouldn't say it's what it's like the main structuring element of the film. She, like I said, she's married. He's really bad to her. I mean, he treats her very poorly before and after she's pregnant. I mean, certainly after she's pregnant. We don't see anything from before. He just has sex with her and then goes off on his trip, and it's like great. I don't know if having sex in the opening scene is like a great vibe for me. I don't know if like seeing two characters fuck, like who I don't know, is like super meaningful, or like it just felt very gimmicky. Like that's how the film starts. They fuck. Okay, but whatever. That's funny, I guess. I just don't care about it. And then you find out that she's cheating on her husband with him, her childhood friend, this guy, whatever his name is, Marty. And he then cheats on her. I mean, I don't know if they're exclusive, but he certainly doesn't tell her, I'm hooking up with this famous woman in London or whatever. And then he puts this pregnant woman in so much harm's way, and it's so sad the way she goes along with it, like, because she has no options, and then she at one point then she has a black eye, and then because of his sympathy for her, because she's experiencing domestic violence, he like takes more care to be nice to this woman he impregnated, who he's been having sex with for years, presumably. And like, then you find out, okay, spoiler alert, this is probably the worst fucking part of the movie. You find out that her black eye is makeup. And not only was she pretending to have a black eye, and she was pretending to experience domestic violence from her like seemingly abusive husband, right? So it's very believable that this guy who's been played as a at least emotionally abusive husband, certainly like a violent, unhinged guy, it's certainly believable that he assaulted her. So then when you find out it's makeup, it's an insane twist that's completely arbitrary, because it made perfect sense that this abusive guy was abusing her. But no, turns out she was pretending. And okay, you want her to be complex. She's complex. Okay, none of the characters are super great. She's complex. Great, that's fine. But then she also had to be abusing her husband. She was abusing him. She wasn't just pretending she was being abused. She actually gave him a black eye. Y'all, talk about a movie made by men. Y'all, come on. Really? You needed there to be a twist that the woman who was seemingly being abused was actually abusing her husband, who she was cheating on? Okay. Okay, so she's very complicated. She fucking sucks, I guess. She's cheating on her husband, pretending she's having his kid, and abusing him at the same time, and then pretending to another guy that she's being abused. Like, okay, so now she's not complicated. She just sucks. So I don't care about anyone, and the guy who I thought was her abusive husband, who I was okay with her cheating on him with, I guess, because he was abusive, now he's not abusive, and he's actually better than Marty. He's a morally way better person than Marty. The guy I was supposed to be like, oh, you know what? Yeah, he's getting cheated on by, with the protagonist, like, but whatever, like, he's a shitty guy. No, he's a better guy than Marty, actually. We have no reason to think he's a worse guy than Marty. We see Marty do way worse things and cause people to get hurt in lifelong ways. Like, Marty causes enormous damage to a lot of people. Serious injuries, serious risk. Doesn't feel sorry for it. Doesn't grow. This is the main problem of the film. He doesn't grow at all. And then in the end, he cries because he saw his baby get born. Oh, he cries because he saw his baby get born? Oh, that's nice. Oh my God, what a guy. He cried because he saw his baby got born. Oh my God. Wow, talk about personal development. Are you kidding me? He cried because his baby got born? Whoa. I guess that is growth and development. Wow. Sure, he behaves the exact same in every single way, professionally and personally, in the entire course of the film. But he did cry when his baby got born. So, that's kind of nice that he cried when his baby got born. I'm okay with characters not growing or developing. Just don't play it like they did. Don't play it like they did. I don't want him to live with this woman. I don't, they're going to have a super unhealthy relationship. You think he's going to stop cheating on her? You think he's going to stop cheating on her? We have every reason to think at the end of this film that Marty has grown not at all. He's going to be a horrible husband to her. He's going to put her through hell continuously, and she's just going to have to live with it. And his relationship with his mom is horrible. He doesn't put any effort into rectifying that. He doesn't do anything to rectify any of his relationships. He doesn't grow professionally. He doesn't grow in any way. He does not change. Leave me a comment about any way that he changes. His competitiveness, which is fine, whatever, that's part of who he is. But it's just like, if you want to play this guy as like an egotistical guy, like who's hard to like, but he's confident, and so he like charismatic, wins people over, like, okay. You can't also play it like he grows, if he doesn't grow, though, if he has all those same qualities at the end. The thing about it being based on a real story, I started to sense, is this based on a true story while I was watching it? Because in a negative way. That would not normally be a negative thing to me. But as I was watching, I was like, wait, this movie like shouldn't exist. There's nothing, it's not interesting, and like it seems like the only reason this would exist is if it was based on a true story. So I started being like, oh, this is probably based on a true story. Again, I don't think that's a bad thing. A lot of great films are made by things based on a true story, but it felt like, oh, that's the justification for why this exists. Last point, he should have lost the ping pong game against a Japanese guy in Japan. He should have lost the ping pong game. He should have lost. It's not interesting to see him win the ping pong game at the end. It's not interesting at all. It's completely boring. What is the point of a 20-minute ping pong sequence where you know he's going to win in the end? What is the point? I love ping pong, but what is the point? It's all fake. It's all completely fake. He should have lost. He deserved to lose. The Japanese guy seemed much nicer. Probably wouldn't have cheated on his partner. Like, all of his opponents seemed much nicer. He should have lost. He deserved to lose. He was a terrible person. He refused to grow and change. He put everyone in harm's way. So one thing, I was talking to my friend about this, and my friend goes, "Did you see what Mark Rebelais said?" And I was like, "No." So I like Mark Rebelais, the musician. Let's see if I get him. Yeah, Mark Rebelais. So Mark Rebelais posted, and this is awesome. I've stopped following Mark Rebelais a bunch. I honestly just started getting so jealous of his amazing talent and personality, so I couldn't watch him because I was just too jealous. But he's so cool, and I've seen him live actually. And he's the only person I've ever seen do this. When I saw Mark Rebelais live, he said that when he finished the set, he said he was going to do an encore, but only if the crowd gave him $200. He was like, the venue didn't pay me for an encore, so if you want me to do an encore, you got to give me $200. And the crowd gave him $200, and he played an encore. Mad respect. I love that. That's amazing. By the way, I'm only going to do next week's podcast episode if you all give me $200 on Patreon. Okay, so what Mark said is, if you want to see a child's impression of Raging Bull or Taxi Driver, go see Marty Supreme. By the way, I haven't seen either of those films. I mean, I've seen every film, obviously, because I'm a media YouTuber, but I haven't seen those two. I haven't cringed this hard since the Iron Claw. 2.5 hours of masturbatory narcissism from everyone involved. Why is Penn Jillette in this movie? Why is half of New York Nico's account in this movie? This is like some Instagram thing. Why is Kevin O'Leary saying, "I'm going to make you an offer"? There is no acting here. There is no movie here. There is only chest thumping. There is a one-note train wreck of self-importance with none of the dynamism, focus, or precision of Uncut Gems. Same soundtrack artist, though, right? Instead, we get an exhausting billboard for Timothy, I don't know how you say it, Chalamet, and his very serious performance that everyone should take very seriously. Marty Supreme is a film student level cringe fest, and you deserve better. Yeah, it comes across like film student shit. I wouldn't have even thought Chalamet was like considering it a serious performance. I mean, what? Because they gave him fake tears at the end? Like what? I mean, there's nothing serious about it. Really, it's just too rushed. Again, that's my main criticism. It's just too rushed. I don't see a lot of movies probably because like there's just too much going on. You get 90 minutes or something, 2 hours. Not that much can happen in that long. If you want it to be a good film, you can't. If you want it to be a good film and you want a million things happening, you have to be artful about it. This is just like, it feels like random arbitrary things happening to make it feel chaotic. Oh, okay, and it's all based around money and stuff, but like, I don't know, it just feels so contrived that he has to jump through all these hoops. It just feels so contrived, and the energy of the film is just one thing after another, and it just felt so contrived. So that's my thoughts on Marty Supreme. Mixed feelings about it. From a normal perspective, very good film, perfectly enjoyable and entertaining. Really, I mean, seriously, despite everything I just said, from a normal person's perspective, it was a perfectly good film that normal people would like. So this is a podcast or something like that.